All right, well, good Thursday evening to you. I am First Alert meteorologist David Ernst here with a weather update. We've got the streaming to YouTube, Facebook, should be connected into our news app as well. So it's a great way to stay informed. We do these kind of updates leading into stronger storms or winter weather, and we can also stream video like we did on Tuesday with the severe weather then right to these platforms. So it's a good way to keep informed, especially if you happen to lose power. You can watch us on your mobile devices. If you're on a desktop computer and you don't have our First Alert weather app on your phone, I would highly recommend that you download that. We've got the QR code right there on the screen below me. You can point your smartphone's camera right at that, and it will take you to the splash page to download the Android or the Apple version of the free WBAY First Alert weather app. If you don't want to use the QR code, you can just go to your app store and search WBAY First Alert weather, and you can download that for free. You can find me on Facebook, David Ernst, WBAY meteorologist. I will post sometimes more in-depth updates and get into some details. It's a place for you to ask questions if you're curious about the weather or have any questions in particular. And if I see any comments come through, I'll try to keep an eye on that as we go through this evening. But you see there, graphic on your screen, your severe weather outlook tomorrow on Friday is going to be in the moderate category with a round of evening storms expected, and some of those storms could be strong to severe. I do not anticipate, I should have audio going through. I see Eric just posted a comment, said he can't hear me. Let me go back and take a look at my audio settings here, but I think everything looks like it's playing out. I see green levels on my screen. Okay. All right, excellent. Well, maybe there's just a weird hiccup going on. Who knows the way technology works some days. But that's again, I'm looking at the feed here, so I will try to answer any questions. I can only see about 2 or 3 comments at a time, so it's possible that it does get buried on me. But let's go ahead and get into the forecast then. I suppose it's always simplest to start up with where we stand right now. And you see right here, First Alert ViperMax, all quiet. We did have a little round of storms earlier today. Those have since faded away. Now let's take a wide view because this will show where our next weather maker is coming from. And you'll notice the severe thunderstorm watch boxes out here back into the Dakotas, South Dakota in particular, and Nebraska with some strong storms heading through Nebraska right now, moving into central parts of the state. And you'll notice that the way that is building, the most intense storms here appear to be building off towards the south. This is going to spawn the first little line of thunderstorms that will come towards the area tomorrow, but I would expect the trend you see right there to continue as those storms get closer to us, in that they would be more so surging off to our south tomorrow morning as opposed to spreading directly in to eastern Wisconsin. There will be one round that comes out of this tonight towards us that fizzles tomorrow morning, and then the system responsible for those storms, that energy will be in our area tomorrow, and that will be what triggers the possible round of severe weather that we would anticipate. So let's see how that plays out here on First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. So going through the rest of the night, you notice there's not a whole lot happening. Quiet conditions, clear skies for the most part tonight. Some high-level cloud cover starts to arrive. Brian, if you're watching, we're about to bust out the arrow. Let's see. Timothy, how many tornadoes? Right now the count stands at 9. The bulk of that was out towards the La Crosse area. We had 6 confirmed tornadoes there. There were 2 in Marathon County, a little closer to us, and then we did have the Kaukauna tornado. The 3 closer to home ones, if you will, were all rated out as EF1 tornadoes. And Kaukauna, while it was small, only on the ground for a mile to a mile and a half, it did cause some significant damage right along that path. But what I was going to point out to you, you see those showers just off on the left-hand side of your screen, just west of our area. That is the line of storms you saw just a second ago back into Nebraska and South Dakota. That likely kind of fizzles as it pushes towards us, with the more significant energy out of that round likely passing to our south into parts of Iowa, Illinois. So here we are at the lunch hour. Maybe there's a midday shower still holding together somewhere, and that could even be farther east into the Fox cities. Now, as we get into the late afternoon and the evening, that's when we're going to be watching for a broken line of showers and thunderstorms to develop and start to move in. And so you see it there at 5 o'clock, Wausau trailing down towards the La Crosse area. As we get deeper into the evening, we'll see those storms spreading northeast. New storms could pop up to the south. Don't get too hung up on the precise placement of where Predictor has those individual cells going through. You just want to take note of the overall trend and timing that we will see a round of these storms coming into the area. They'll be somewhat hit and miss in nature, whereas the round we had on Tuesday, those storms were very organized. It was a cluster, a line of storms with severe weather all along that line. I don't expect that we see things get to that level tomorrow, and that's why we're going with our severe weather outlook in the moderate category. But nonetheless, the storms that you see on there could certainly pose a risk, and it is possible that we do see a few isolated severe warnings for damaging wind gusts, 60-ish miles per hour, as well as the potential for some hail. So the peak timing, at least what I'm going with in my graphics, lines up very well with what you saw there on Predictor. I'm thinking, oh, wrong graphic here. This was a different one. Let me we'll overwrite this one with the one I wrote today. I have two of those style graphics just in case we get a couple lines of storms coming through, so you can break out multiple time frames here. So this is the one I built for tomorrow's system, and again, that's going to be Friday from about 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. is our rough timeline of when you'd be most likely to encounter any severe weather, any stronger thunderstorms. We will be looking at hail, quarter-size hail, and damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour being the primary threats with any severe weather we would see in the area. Certainly expecting some heavy rainfall with those thunderstorms, but it's a quick-moving line, so I wouldn't anticipate we see too much in the way of flooding concerns, although anytime you get a thunderstorm around, yes, there could be some localized flash flooding or ponding of water. The threat for tornadoes is lower with this system. On Tuesday, we had an area of low pressure that was getting closer, and that provided some extra spin into the atmosphere, and we also saw just the line itself be a bit more organized, and when you start to see kinks in lines like that, that does lend itself to those spin-up tornadoes, which is exactly what we were dealing with on Tuesday. So not a repeat of Tuesday, but still you will want to keep an eye out for those stronger thunderstorms later on in the day. Risk for severe weather likely is highest off to our south. You'll see it painted in there from the Storm Prediction Center down around Madison, Milwaukee, southern Wisconsin in that slight risk. That's a level 2 out of 5. Locally, Fox Valley up through Green Bay, Shawano, we're in the marginal risk for severe weather, so that's a level 1 out of 5. For some perspective, most of the area was in a level 3 risk as we got into Tuesday evening. So again, not the same as Tuesday's storms, but still bears watching. Overall rain totals with this system as it moves through, likely around the 1/2 inch to 1 inch range, but locally higher amounts would be possible. Out ahead of any storms tomorrow, it should be a pretty decent day at first. Now, winds could be a little bit strong. We will be looking for those winds out of a general east-southeasterly direction, and sustained speeds could be up 10, 15, maybe even closer to 20 miles per hour. Some gusts to 25 are possible, so you'll definitely want to even during the day, kind of get things tucked up closer to the house, perhaps. Not a windy day, but still certainly on the breezy side. You will notice that wind, and then we will see temperatures. Let me see if I can find my high temperature graphic. I have too many graphics in my show. I need to go through and clean this out. High temperatures for tomorrow, those are going to be pushing into the lower 70s around the Fox cities, maybe some mid-70s into southern Wisconsin, but northern areas likely running a little bit cooler with mid and upper 60s there. After this round of storms gets through the area, our start to the holiday weekend is looking very nice, but unfortunately it does not finish in that fashion. So I will go ahead and pull up my split screen graphic here with the American GFS on the right side and the European weather model on the left. We are in better agreement with these two models in terms of what to expect now Sunday and into Memorial Day. Yesterday there was a bit of disagreement, if you will. These are two completely different weather models. They run on different physics, but anytime they come to the same solution, it gives you a little more confidence in that's how things would be unfolding. So you'll notice here on Saturday, both in good agreement that it's a quiet day. We will see some cloud cover rolling in late, but by and large, Saturday, a beautiful afternoon. We'll see low 70s for highs. Winds shouldn't be too strong. Maybe a little bit breezy at times, but not as much wind as we see tomorrow. But as we go through time, you'll notice that we see a round of rain coming in from the south by Sunday morning. That is knocking on our doorstep. And you'll see a pretty similar solution in both models, maybe some subtle timing differences, and the rain may look a little more widespread on one versus the other, but in general, that rain kind of overspreads the area over the course of Sunday afternoon. We then continue with mostly cloudy skies and rain showers right on into Memorial Day. And it looks like it is going to be somewhat soggy and damp through the day. Winds will also be on the stronger side as this system is coming through. So, it may not be a total washout from Sunday afternoon through Memorial Day, but I would certainly expect to find areas, times of steady rainfall, soaking rain, and there could certainly be an inch or two of rainfall in it with this system. So not necessarily the forecast you would want as we get into a holiday weekend, but it is what it is, and we will certainly keep an eye on things if there's any potential for stronger storms in it. But at this point, it looks like we are on the cooler side of the low, so I would not expect that. I'm pretty much just going with rain showers at this point. But again, something we will monitor, and I would expect cooler conditions. We'll have highs that, today we were in the upper 70s, tomorrow, Saturday, lower half of the 70s, and then we're in the 60s as we get into the clouds and rainfall. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. I'll try to look back through and see if there was a comment or two that I missed and did not address, and I will answer that. But as far as things go for your Friday, it is a first alert weather day. We're watching for that round of evening storms. Saturday, a beautiful day, and then Sunday and Memorial Day, as well as possibly Tuesday. Unsettled weather, yes, but it does not appear that we would be in line for any type of strong to severe storms. So we will be dealing with the rain showers the way it's looking right now, some cooler conditions, but we've had colder Memorial Days and could certainly do without the severe threat, so it doesn't look like we'll have that on the holiday weekend. I will be doing a full update on everything you just heard here on Action 2 News at 10 o'clock. So hopefully we'll see you there, and have a good rest of the night, and we'll be back here on Friday. Of course, you'll have Chief Meteorologist Steve Balon in the morning with an update on what to expect with these storms coming in later in the day, and then I'll be here on Action 2 News 4, 5, 6, and 10, and be getting you through it. If we see any warnings, of course, we'll be breaking into programming. We'll have coverage in our weather app and in the news app as well, so there will be plenty of places to keep informed, and hope you have a great night.